Hey guys, Masterath here, and welcome to another MasterRants video. Now, this one is going to be less ranting and more sort of explaining about one of my all-time favourite video games and why it should be a lot more well-known and universally liked than it is. Now, this is in the wake of me getting 150 subscribers, which hasn't happened yet, and I'm uploading it the day that I am making this video, but hopefully it will happen soon. I'm up to 149, I believe, so one away. Anyway, so, people should know by now that for 10 whole years of my life, my all-time favourite game was Jade Cocoon for PlayStation 1. Now, for people who don't know what Jade Cocoon is a fantasy RPG, which a lot of people would call a Pokemon reject, which it isn't. Just because it involves a capture function and monsters doesn't mean that it should be called in any way a rip-off or a copy. Even the PlayStation magazine, who rated it 9 out of 10, said similar to Pokemon. It may be similar, but it's not a rip-off. First off, let's talk about the storylines for both game series. In Pokemon, there have always been slightly altered storylines, but it's always been the same thing. Defeat 8 gym leaders, or in Generation 2's case 16, and then go on to beat the Elite Four and all the champion to become the Pokemon Master, and then try and catch them all. Quite a basic storyline, but a storyline that worked. Jade Cocoon's storyline, on the other hand, is a lot more detailed. Jade Cocoon is a storyline where the town of Cyrus is attacked by hordes of winged insects known as the Oni-Boo-Boo. The Oni-Boo-Boo sleep powder puts half of the residents in that town to sleep eternally. And the only way that they can be saved and woken up is by getting something called the Calabash Herb somewhere deep in the forest. Now, their original Cocoon Master Ricketts was swallowed up by the forest and is now lost in there, so their only hope is the Cocoon Master's son, Levant. Levant, who I believe is about 14 or 15, hasn't even come of age yet, is forced into this whole sort of problem. And even though he's never caught a minion in his life, is now the town's Cocoon Master. So after getting all the supplies and a Nagi bride, Levant ventures into the forest to try and find the Calabash Herb. He finally finds the herb, but it's not over yet. They need more than that, and it ends up with his wife being turned into a cocoon and him having to get 4 jewels to try and face the Chosen One of Darkness, since he's the Chosen One of Light, in a final battle, in what's called the Transmigration. As you can see, a lot more in-depth storyline. Okay, so now we've sort of found out that these storylines are completely different. Now to the graphics. Pokemon until Generation 6 was always sort of a 2D, possible 3D-ish, not that much though, in style. Jade Cocoon was 3D from the get-go. Pixelated 3D, yes, but it was PlayStation 1, remember. Both games did involve a running function by pressing a certain button, but I believe Jade Cocoon came up with it first. Now we get to the battle functions, and even though they are similar, there are differences. First off, in Jade Cocoon, in the first game, you are only allowed one of your minions in battle at one time, while your opponents can range from 1, 2, maybe even 3 at the same time, so you may have a handicap match against you. In Jade Cocoon, there is a defense button, which means that you defend, increasing your mana, which is pretty much your power points in Pokemon. And defending will increase your power points and give them a less chance to hurt you. You can also do magic and special attacks, which, by the way, you can learn more than 4 at a time. Another thing about Jade Cocoon is that your main character, the man himself, Levant, is also competing in this fight. So while Red and Gold and Ash and Blue are all there, using their Pokemon just there for work, Levant has to fight his own way as well, arming himself with his own weapons and his own items, and his own armor. There is a capture motif, but again, different. In Pokemon, once you catch the Pokemon, it is eligible for you to use. In Jade Cocoon, though, you have to go back to a Nagi woman, in this case Mabu, your wife, who will purify the cocoons before they're eligible for use. Once they've been purified, 3 things can happen. You can either put it straight into your team, which you're only allowed 3 minions. You can spin the minions to make silk to sell at the local shop, but you lose the minion overall. Or you can merge them. Merging them together means that you could get dual types. There are 4 types in Jade Cocoon: fire, air, earth, and water, all with their own weaknesses and strengths. Merging 2 minions together allows you to inherit both abilities from both minions. Personally, I do like the mechanics of the merge feature, and it wouldn't work in Pokemon because Pokemon do not have palette swap monsters like Jade Cocoon does. There are 170 monsters in the first Jade Cocoon game, I think 171, I would say if you take out the palette swaps, there's probably only 70 or 80 different types. Something that also Digimon suffered from, but still turned out to have a really good set of games. Now, Jade Cocoon had a sequel, Jade Cocoon 2 for the PlayStation 2. A game that I have not played yet, but I really do want to try and find and play. Because I've seen a few sort of videos of it. Doesn't seem to interest me as much as the first one. It's a lot more Japanime style, which I'm not sure if I like. Yeah, it may work well, but I'm not sure personally if I would prefer it in a game. The battle system is altered, so you are now allowed 2 minions out if your opponent also has 2, which is a good idea. But the battle system seems a lot more difficult to try and work out, so really, I'm not sure. In my opinion, the first Jade Cocoon was absolutely brilliant. The second one let it down a little bit, I think. That's probably why we never saw a third. Anyways, that is it, guys. So, for people who still think that sort of Jade Cocoon is a Pokemon wannabe or a Pokemon copy or a Pokemon ripoff, think again. There's a lot more to the game that meets the eye for someone like me who has played it for years and years. Anyway, that's the Masteraths for today. Again, all in the wake of my 150th subscriber, which I said I'm on 149 at the moment, getting close. But I will be making a special big announcement when I get to 150, which is one away. So, yeah. Also, folks, I'll just thought I'd mention, if you guys have not voted yet, for new watchers of this, if you have not voted yet on what game I should let's play next for the start of next year, the link will be in the description below to the straw poll, where you can vote on multiple choices for my next LP. Thank you very much to everyone who has currently voted. Really means a lot. Got some good turnouts at the moment. Just reminding the people who have not even known about it, let's say. Anyway, guys, that's it. I will see you for more Fire Emblem tomorrow, unless if I reach 150 subscribers by then I'll roll it to another day. Anyway, guys, I'll see you then. Bye.